physical. And then chemical.
Yes. C is so good on the cold. That's a good strong C.
And again, that's contrasting with the front of the L. So he's going back. Although the L's kind of, it may not be real strong there, but chemical.
Oh, isn't that awesome?
Oh, la la la. We're gonna we're back. Chemical in.
And he did it, but I stopped to do something about chemical in. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it? You would not just, it is not intuitive that you would teach those words to a child who is unintelligible. But it works. And I look at it, I think of it, I didn't put this in the handout, but I think of it like as a framework. I took a course a long years ago, 30 years ago maybe at Asher, and they called it linguistic slot filler. And they were talking about having linguistic slots, like in a sentence. If you taught a child to say, like, I am walking home, it's like you've taught them that many slots. And then they can put other sentences into I, or he is, throwing balls. You're teaching them slots. And I think of it as like that. I think if we teach a child to say hippopotamus, they've now got 5 slots. And they can put other 5-syllable words in there easily, and that is what so much happens. Or like chemical reaction. It's not hard then to say physical reaction. It's not hard to say rhinoceros lady, to get that many syllables. It's like you built a framework. And it's pretty awesome, I think. Okay, in 1 month of therapy, okay, December 4th, this was exactly a month to the day, he was saying clearly, and I would say, well, punch him out, and we would punch him. Bottle in, little up. I won't read them all, but like experiment, chemical reaction, you just heard those. Carefully, dangerous, and kaleidoscope, telescope, microscope, and we work a lot with gyroscope, Mentos, Diet Coke, because that in Diet Coke, he could not do that, and it came easily, considering, amazing. Explosion, recycle it. This is just barely scratching the surface, but you get the idea. If you do enough things, your words will pour out of you, and it's just awesome. And they will just learn it. But punching it is what matters. Okay, finding syllables, talking inside your mouth, or duck talking. This is something I just learned recently from the International Dyslexia Association conference. And this lady called it duck talking. So I want you how a lot of people find syllables by clapping or by holding their jaw, feeling, I don't know. Those things don't really work very well, though, unless you already know the syllables. Electricity. It's not going to work well doing this. Or clapping electricity. So this really works, and it's cool, and I just learned it. So I want you to keep your lips closed really tight, and I want you to yell as loud as you can. Say baseball as loud as you can, but you cannot open your mouth. So how many syllables are there? And it really works. It's like, oh my gosh, there were the syllables. A syllable, this is the definition using it's really pretty cool. Okay, now I'm going to use duck talking to say either baseball or inside your mouth talking. I kind of call it both. Say either baseball or basketball. I want you to tell me which one I said. Okay, you ready? Was that hard? Yeah. What about if I'm going to say either Mississippi or Texas? What about Chum? What if you do either Mississippi or Texas? It's your choice. Isn't that cool? So how many syllables were in? And you just hear them. Because every time you push, every syllable is a push of breath. Every syllable is hearing a vowel. And I teach this definition of what is a syllable. I have on my website, which is HettieJohnson.com, I have handouts that have this on it in one of my talks. And I also am on YouTube giving a talk. And if you just put in Hettie P. Johnson with a P for Pippin, and if you just put Hettie P. Johnson as one word on YouTube, I'm giving a talk about teaching reading and spelling using morphology, like Greek and Latin word parts. And anyway, so this is on that handout too, I think. But anyway, this is going to be a definition using multisensory of what is a syllable. Okay, what is a syllable? Okay, let's say, okay, you've got to use your hands. Can you tell me a syllable is a word? Can you tell me a syllable is a word? Like, I would first have used a an index card and I would write baseball on it. Pretend that I have baseball on this index card, and I would say, what does it say? And they say, what does it say? Baseball. So say, if I fold it over and say, here's just ball, and you would say, ball. And I'd say, okay, well, is that a syllable? Yeah, I mean, is that a word? Could ball be a word? What about base? Could that be a word all by itself? Yeah, so then I'm going to tear it in half, the index card, and say baseball, these are two syllables. I go through this thing. So then teach them that, here's your definition, okay, and with your hands. A syllable is a word, can be a word, is a word, or a part of a word, with one vowel, a V for the word vowel. It is a word or a part of a word with one vowel sound. And good, one more time loud. What is it? This is really cool. And I've learned with Jackson, like at the very bottom, amazingly, it helps the child to then say the word clearly and whispered and then out loud. I'll say, okay, I want you to say gyroscope, but I want you to say it inside your mouth. And so you'll say, and I'll say, okay, now say it out loud. And I mean, I don't know why exactly, but it is like clear. When he says it out loud after doing it, gyroscope is like, oh, and whispering it. He could not whisper, he could not play with speech, play with his voice, like on that, one of those when he started going, woo, woo, woo. That is so new for him. For somebody who maybe is a praxic, I don't know, I'm not sure what the deal is. He had a lot of ear infections too, though, so that could have been it. And plus he's really dyslexic, and his daddy had some issues like that. Successful now, and both parents were successful and great, but had some learning issues. And so anyway, it was hard for him to play with sound. And his mother said, one day she said, is it weird that he's playing with sound, but he likes to whisper? Try that duck talking, and then get him to say it out loud, and it's just pretty interesting that for some reason it works. Okay, we're blowing bubbles.
They're floating? It's floating. Floating. These container ones, somehow they're not working very well. I'm going to twist it. Let me twist it.
We have a bubble wand at home, honey. Yeah, I got them.
That's all I need. That's better, Mom.
Brand new.
And whatever what you told me, you said, I'll meet you. We're going to say, I'll meet you. Thank you. Meet you. The point of making is going to be stronger than that. Wait, don't put too much at once. Meet you.
And I want meet you.
I met you.
And not meet you.
Look, it's going in. Going in. And going. But real loud, going. Yeah, go in. Yeah, go. Hey, good. Well, that was smart.
Wear safety goggles. See what that is.
Yeah, vinegar. Yeah, vinegar. And we're going to cut to make a volcano. Yes. Good job. Here we go. Volcano. Yeah, can you pour in? This one isn't going to be violent. I mean, not violent. More vinegar. Whoa. Vinegar. Now let it die down. Tell it die down. Vinegar. Whoa. And so what's it doing? Chemical reaction. Yeah, how loud can you do it? Yeah, tell it to your mom so she can hear you. Yes, good. Wow. That's cool. When we cut up the paper, what kind of reaction was that? Physical. Yeah, this one's chemical. But it makes something different. Okay, did you want to put more? More vinegar.
It probably needs to be flipped.
Oh, well, good.
Sorry.
I love to do barrier games with like Colorforms. You know, do you have all these old magnets to make things or something? Or you could do it with like Guess Who, the game Guess Who, where you're asking each other who they have. It's a barrier game because the other person doesn't know what you're seeing and you don't know what they're seeing. And I use this a lot. Over the years, I've used it a lot with kids with Asperger's and autistic kids who were talking, or just anybody who needed social skills. That's another real specialty of mine is social skills, and I have a talk that I love to give about teaching social skills and making friends. It's called Everybody Needs a Friend. And I use this a lot with the social skills, because what you're doing is we each have the same game board, and they're standing up so we can't see what each other has. And the idea is you tell each other directions of what to do, where to put a certain sticker, or I use it with written language. They have to write where to put it on their little index card, and we swap them back and forth, and we say, you got mail, and they give each other, like, put the truck in front of the greenhouse. You know, it could be very elaborate. I've done it with with high school kids. You know, they tell a whole scene. They're having a burglary, and the bank robber is running down the street, and the policeman is chasing him. You know, and they're going to put him in jail. It could be anything, or it could be just car, street. So it could be at any level. So that's what we're doing here.
Near that yellow airplane, or near the blimp, or near the helicopter?
Near the palm.
Near the what?
Near the palm.
Oh, but you gotta tell me. So is this, did I do that right? Is that right? Okay. Okay, what can I tar? A car? Or a car? Oh, a car. What color is the car?
Red car.
Red car? Okay, where do I put the red car?
On top of the hot airplane.
Okay, on top of the hot airplane? Like this? On top of the hot airplane?
No.
Or up in the air? Up in the dirt. Okay, can I show you one?
And the bulldozer.
Can I give you one? Find the purple SUV.
I know.
Okay, and can you put it in front of the purple and yellow house? Find the purple and yellow house. Down low. You see the purple and yellow house?
I did.
And put the purple SUV in front of it. Okay, what if we put it going into the driveway?
Okay.
Ready? Ready to check? Did you do it?
No, I didn't. I didn't have.
Wait, are you ready? Can we ready?
Ready.
Wow!
Yeah, so it gives you great, if the child is having some of the spatial terms, with anything, I mean, anything you can do with this, but if they're, like, it gives you a chance to say, not to correct them, but to correct them in a really good way, to say, oh my gosh, if you wanted it under, oh wow, if I had just known you wanted it under, like maybe they told you something wasn't under, or left or right, or, you know, you can say, oh, you meant, oh, between, oh, you know, and you can, and so, you know, they love it when I go, oh, I just didn't know, between, I didn't know. And so then the next time I tell you something, they're going to say, put it between, or to the left, or in front, or in back, or above, or below. Any of those terms, it really works nicely for that.
Yeah. What do you tell me? You tell me.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. You're welcome. Can you tell me thank you when you're looking at me with eye
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I love that eye bridge. It makes your words walk across into my brain. Let me see your words walk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do they feel
Thank you.
There they are.
He'll tell me everything he wants to make. And like one day he came in and said, I want to make fiberglass.
This with the end, to be verb is, oh, there he is, and for the pronoun instead of he. There he is. Where is he? Oh, I found him. There he is. Pickle car. Where is he? Who can find him? There he is. Yeah, he's making the scene. Where is he? Can you ask me something? Where is he? Yeah, so we're doing this for interrogative reversal questions. We ask this box, hey, where is he?
I see it.
There he is. Tell me,
He is.
where is he? Can we ask the pig, where is he? The pig said, oink, oink, I don't know. Let's ask the rabbit, hippity hop. Say, where is he? Hippity hop, I don't know. Ooh, who else could we ask?
I see your voice.
That's his green cousin. Jimmy, cousin, hey cousin. Uh-oh, can you throw it in the trash can? You're gonna find him? Is he in the fire car? Can you ask the mouse, say, where is he?
Where is he?
The mouse said, squeak, squeak. He's hiding. Where? Can you ask him, where is he hiding?
Where?
Yeah, where is he?
Where is he?
I bet.
Using O-R-T-O-N, Samuel Orton, he was a neurologist back in the 1920s, and he's who really thought of this about multisensory from doing autopsies. You know, because they didn't have CAT scans or anything in 1920, but he's who thought of this approach. And for the reading, we're very big time putting it on our hand. This is like, if you, magic, this is one of the most magic things in the whole world. If I would throw you a word to spell, it could be a word, anything, but I'm going to throw you a word and I want you to catch it with your non-dominant hand, because your dominant hand is busy writing, your other hand is your spelling hand. And so this is what I'm getting him used to. If I throw you like shop, okay, shop, like I will go shop. Okay, so you catch it out loud. We're using our seeing, hearing, talking, moving, touching. Say shop as you catch it, okay? Shop. Good, now let it out one sound at a time. Shh, ah. Now letters, S-H, okay, because they're both on that one time. And yeah, Ruth Ann knows this so well, because we've done this training together. S-H, loud, O-P, and then you're going to write it out loud. I'm going to be keeping, it's still in my hand here, okay, in case I need to check anything. So I'm going to use my helper hand, but I've still got it in my hand. And I'm going to write it out loud, S-H, what was that next one? And I would just tell them, well, I don't know, just check your hand. Oh yeah, P. And I mean shop, and it's like it's written on their hand. I've seen this so many times where if I give them, you know, if they'll say, well, what was that? And I'll just say, well, just check your hand. Oh yeah. And it's just eerie because they look at it and they do it every time. And they, oh yeah. Or if it's a whole sentence like I went to the store, I'm going to throw you, I went to the store. I went to the store, and we're going to let each word out, like I went to the store. And again, while they're writing it, they might say, what was next? And I'll say, check your hand. It's amazing. It's incredible. I had a little child the other day to just say, why does that always work? And it just does. And if the hand does, and so if the hand doesn't work, I tell them to put it on your feet, and it's even better. Like if we're trying to read a word, like I had a child trying to read like owl, maybe, and they were doing apple, but it made, you know, it wasn't getting, and finally out of desperation, I said, well, put it on your feet, apple. Oh, L. It was like, oh, well. And that works, I mean, like 100%. I mean, sort of. I mean, it's amazing. So try that. I think it's because they are like, you're really committing your body even more severely when you're stomping it. You're just sitting in their chair. And if kids were doing their spelling words that way, how much more fun would it be?
Before we go, you want to show me the rock instead of the gyroscope? Tell me what this is. Yeah, gyroscope. Wow. And what is a gyroscope? What is it? And the gyroscope has to do with. Can you take some raisins? Very good. Yeah. But tell me this, what the gyroscope has to do with. What was this word? Yes. Gravity. What does gravity do?
Like got people moving up.
Like gravity. Yeah. Does gravity make things go up or down?
Down.
Down. What was this word? What was this word? What was this word?
Try baby.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, gyroscope. What was this with the word? Yes, a party. Yeah, I mean these are like those words that come.
Okay, he would say set for 7, and it's so.
Wait, before you put it.
5.
And then what?
6.
And then what?
7.
Oh, 7. Wow. What a song. 7.
Yeah.
Like perfect. It used to be 7. You know, there wasn't a B in there.
Really?
I
See
think
here.
it was for mine, and that was the strongest 7 I think I've ever.
Yeah, and it got to where the cool thing, like if I just would, sometimes he would just say something just ugh, and I would just say it stronger, and he would just fix it. I would say, or I just might say, I want that stronger, and it's just amazing, or I would just do this. I mean, I don't have to say it, or if he's reading, this is something so much, once they get used to this, that's all I have to do, they're reading, and I'll go, and that will trigger them to know they have to do that, and it's really cool. And this, he noticed a Easter card from my daughter-in-law, Lydia, and my son Wyatt. So, and listen to how clearly he says Lydia and Sally, which I think was pretty cool.
And Mr. Bill from Wyatt, and Wyatt, and Lydia.
Lydia.
Yes, gosh, and their dog, Sally.
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 Yes, and tell me again, Lydia.
Lydia.
That's like gorgeous.
It is. The L's are amazing to me. Like,
Yeah, because that's one of the hardest, you know, L is one of the hardest sounds. R is the hardest, but he got that L quickly. Remember, that came early.
yeah, and that's a really strong, I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, okay, Jack.
Yeah, he had, you know, I mean, 6 years or 5 years of working on, yeah, it's just incredible because it came easily, and L blends came easily, which is amazing. I mean, you don't expect that, right? I mean, I don't expect that, but they just came so easily.
Does he have siblings?
Did what?
Does he have siblings?
Yes, his younger sister Kate, who was doing fine, Mark. And one day before Christmas, they were taking Kate, and let's see, who was Kate? Kate! And they were going to school one day, and Kate was begging her mother, saying, I want a real reindeer for Christmas. And she just kept saying, I want a real reindeer. And it was really frustrating Jackson. And so he's 7 years old at this point, still 7. He finally just got really fed up with her wanting a reindeer. And he looked at her and he said, a reindeer is a caribou anyway. And how smart is that? And she, yeah, I mean, how smart was that for a 7-year-old? I didn't know a reindeer was a caribou. Now, I didn't know that. So this eye bridge, we've already talked about that, but I think it's so important, this thing about to tell them the letters or the words will tell you what they say. Because they don't understand that. But I want them to know that if you look at them and if you put them on your hand, that's what I'll call it. I'll say this a million times, if you put them on your hand, you can read anything. And he can read amazing. He can read so much stuff. If he touches the words, puts it on his hand, trust the letters. They'll tell you what they say. What we're doing here, he adores this. And this is so fun. Okay, on these, we do treasure hunts. I live in fear of not having a treasure hunt ready for him. And so I hide cards all over the house. But it could be in a therapy room. It doesn't have to be all over our house. But I'll have a whole stack of, he'll walk around the house saying, A, apple, A. So we have A, and on the back, apple, A. I, igloo, it. F, fish, and we'll maybe jump rope to him. He can't jump rope, but I'll do this, I hate to do this. But you know, you could do
You're going to do that in high heels.
like young man, F, fish, CH, and that should be done with wearing this. But you know, but active, you know, like I tell my kids, I want this to be fun. I want you to have more time to play. Am I back? Am I working? I want you to have more time to play. That's what I tell my kids at the very beginning. The reason you're here, the reason we're working is I want you to make even better grades in school and to be more fun. And I want you to have more time to play. And they like, oh, yes. And they light up because I tell them, if you use your eye bridge and if you put things on your hand, you know, you're going to just learn it easier. And if you make it, you know, physical, like throwing things, you know, if you maybe throw syllables, throwing things, and how about Cynthia? You know, throwing things while you work, doing anything physical makes everything more fun, and it works better. Yes. So we do these. Oh, I got off the track, but I use how unusual. So I use all these.
We're talking about the hand for spelling. For a child that's reading and reads very choppy, you know, I saw the dog, or actually it's more choppy, slower, delayed than that between words. Does that work for that as well?
Yes. Yes, but we have to start low. You know, they need to know all the sounds. You know, like he is doing these sort of things with like, the vowels are on the color, consonants are on white, but like he's learning vowel teams, like he has one that says E-A, E-E, you know, O-O, school, oo, O-O, book, you know, he's gotten really advanced to know these things, so, but that once he knows as a vowel team, it really, really helps. I mean, but that's a whole nother talk that we should do. But it's really cool. And you could go to Huntsville the first 2 weeks in June and go to greengateschool.org, greengateschool.org, and if you don't get it, it's on my website, but greengateschool.org, and you can take a 2-week course that would teach you this, and it's awesome, isn't it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, and so you will learn so much, and it just works. It really is exciting how much it works. Like one of my students, well, she was a senior in high school, going into her senior year at Mountain Brook, reading on the 6th percentile, okay, meaning she was 6th from the bottom reading. We worked twice a week her senior year. Reading on the 6th percentile, we worked twice a week, and she got into Auburn, and she made the Dean's List in engineering her first semester, and now she's going to graduate in May, still on the Dean's List in engineering. Not bad for 6th percentile reading going into your senior year, but it was so funny. We were sitting at we do syllables down our arms, like Minnesota. And what did this one say? Yeah, so what did this one say? Yeah, so you have a place on your arm, and it really works nicely because, you know, Alabama, what did this one say? Yeah, so it's really cool. You have a place on your arm, and it really makes you see it and feel it. So one day, she was about to go to Auburn, and she said, well, Hetty, when I get to Auburn, do I have to still do this? And I said, well, I want you to kind of do it down by your side, because it really worked. So, but this thing about the treasure hunt, so I'll just hide these. I'll start off, and so he reads it, and that's what he's doing here, jog to the den and peek. So we're doing vowel team E-E, he's learned it. I wouldn't put it if we hadn't done it around the house a million times. He has to know E-E, feet E, and brain, A-I, in the middle of a word, A-I, paint A. So, and peek into the brain book. So he goes there and then he finds me another one, show, he learned O-W, snow O. Show me your feet and elbows, O-W-O. You know, I wouldn't put it if he hadn't learned it. Take a slow jog to the front door and peek under the rug. Okay, so he loves this, and he'll read treasure hunt. Okay, can you read it to me?
Look on the house.
If you look at the letters, it'll say.
The copy.
Did I say E?
The house.
Well, no, read it again. You wake it up. Cock. E. So what is it?
Coffee.
You were right.
Pot.
You prove it to me that pot. Are you sure?
Pot.
Yes. Good. Yes, the letters change. Like the letters will tell you.
Right.
Because he so much wants it to say down. You know, he wants it to guess it, which is typical of everybody. But the more we can make him trust the letters. Now trust it and stick with the word, and it'll tell you what it says. It'll always tell you what. Yeah, to tell them that O-N will always say on. You know, and you can trust it. You can trust it. It's kind of like math. I mean, you can trust the numbers. What is that E going to make that I say? Yes.
10. Go to the
Check it and see. What is that part going to say? Live in. Okay, oh, and there's some more. There's an arrow. And the arrow. Where do you look when you get to the living room? Okay.
One would have two.
Well, this is just the ending of that one.
And look under the book.
Yes! That's what I wanted to trust. Oh, you got it done. How many times are you supposed to do?
How many times does it jump? Count right now.
5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do 5, jump 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm not sure. Make sure you count every time you jump.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What is his placement in school? Is he resourced or is he?
He's in regular, just regular.
D,
With help.
Yay, what about A-Y? What's A-Y gonna say?
A.
Yeah, as in.
Plank. Take.
Check it on your hand.
A.
Oh, like.
Play.
Yes, good. That word, you know what, for the rest of your life, that will always say play. You want to
Tomorrow
play
we'll
that?
have a beach.
I take it for y'all, hit me with the L's.
Oh, and he spilled toothpaste on his shirt.
Okay.
But it wasn't real clear. It wasn't clear. This is just some of the things that when, after 6 months of therapy, but again, like, it was 45 sessions. I mean, we're still working. His mother was gonna come today. She wanted to come, and it would have been great, but she just couldn't take the time off. But he still distorts all the R's. You know, the R's are not good. And on the go, first of all, he omitted a final L just like on squirrel, but that's a hard one. But he uses those L's, as you've seen, tons of times in his speech, when it's movement. Movement is what works. He still distorts, virtually, some S, D, S, H, C, H, J, and S and R in blends, but his L blends are great. And he often will self-correct to make himself understood, which is really good. Most of the sounds are produced strongly and clearly, which is what I love, because before, even the sounds that on the go and Fristo, before he came to me, but they had scored like they scored those as being okay, but they weren't okay. They were so weak. They were like, they were just so weak, but it was all he had. But they were so weak, and now they're really strong. If you remember, like on the F and V, I mean, he just so much didn't get those. And his mother said the other day, she said, "You just don't know how significant this is." She said, "For 5 years, we've been trying to get an F, and now it's, and not only is it there, it's strong." And the V, if you remember, like 7, how strong, it's strong. And I never sat down and worked on any sounds. I mean, what you've seen is what we've done. And it all comes. It's like God made our body to work. and in fact, Hebrews 6:10, I look at y'all and think of how all the wonderful things you're doing. And just one of my favorite verses is Hebrews 6:10 that says, and this applies to you, it says, "God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and how you have shown your love for Him as you help His children and continue to help them." And I just think that's really awesome. And it makes me think of you as teachers. And Isaiah 40:11 that says he tends his flock like a shepherd, and he gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those that have young. And I just think it so applies to you and to your work. And then he had learned, okay, to count using one-to-one correspondence. I mean, I have to help him some, as you've seen, but it's like awesome because he wasn't doing it at all. And count by twos, add, subtract, use fractions, measure for cooking. It's been so good. And I'm doing the same idea, like, okay, so I'm using like decodable text to make these treasure hunts where I'm using what I know he can do. And as I teach him a new vowel team, oh my gosh, we can work it in. And I'm doing the same thing with his cooking. I'll take a recipe and put it on index cards where he can read it, but I'll change the recipe, the wording enough that, when it says saucepan, he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that A uses ah, and he doesn't know the C can be soft before an E. So I'll just say, put it in a pan, or put it in a small pan, or a big pan, or pot, because those are closed syllables he can read, and so he'll read stuff like that. And it's so, if I try to get him to sit down and read a book, it's very not good. I mean, he can shut down big time. But if it's reading for something, he'll read a ton of stuff if it's for a treasure hunt or to cook, and it's so much more meaningful. And think about these treasure hunts and the cooking, think about he's reading for comprehension, because he's reading to follow directions. He wants to find M&Ms at the ending spot or something. Or sometimes I just put another activity at the end that I think looks fun. He doesn't think that's as fun as M&Ms. But all about for meaning. Something that I haven't talked about, and I really should, phonological awareness play is really important. It's like, okay, as you know, I mean, his phonological awareness, which means his ability to play with sounds in his head, you can expect it to be really poor because you look at his speech and his dyslexia, the crux of dyslexia is poor phonological awareness, poor ability to rhyme, and poor ability to play with sounds. So that's really important. I mean, I figured that out somewhere back in the 70s when I was teaching a school for the deaf. Now it's Epic, but it was Lakeview. And I just figured that when I started playing with phonological awareness, everybody got better. And that was when, and I was traveling around Avondale and Ealerton and others, and when I started doing that was when the teachers, you could just mark it down, that's when the teachers were going to stop me in the hall and say, he's really gotten better. And it's when I started playing with phonological awareness, and this is what I would especially do, and it's really working with him, is like, okay, I would say, okay, I want you to say baseball, baseball. And now say it without bass. Oh. Okay, and I know y'all probably all know a lot about that, but I want you to say, okay, I'm going to say basket. Basket. And I say it without kit. Good. So just that kind of play, but if they don't just get it like that, okay, then I'm going to do, this makes it work so much better. If you do this, I want you to say, we're going to say doorknob. So I want you to pull them out of the air, always do things left to right because you read left to right. So I want you to say doorknob. Doorknob. Now get rid of knob. Door. What's that? So this, I mean, if they can't do it the other way, they always do it this way. Okay, say, you know, say table. Table. Get rid of tag. What's that? And that really, 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 it's amazing when you start doing that. And rhyming, and like with Jackson, we'll be throwing the ball, and we'll just see, okay, what can you rhyme with? Hat, cat, mat, rat. We're just rhyming and just doing that, or doing onset rhyme, R-I-M-E. Okay, the onset is the first, is whatever is before the vowel, and then the rhyme, R-I-M-E, is vowel and everything after it. So I might say basket. Okay, say basket. Say basket. Okay, now if I say book, what's left? Ask it. So that's the rhyme. The book is the onset. Ask it is a rhyme. What if I say, like, I'll take his parents' name, and they love it if they're, you know, family names. I'll say Brian. So say Brian. Now what if I take off book? Ryan. But he would always say iron. But now he's gotten over here. I'll say, oh, it's almost it. And he'll say Ryan. He's figured it out. He's learned to break apart that BR cluster, that blend, and to hear it, or to, you know, and it's awesome. And it makes all the difference in the world. And we'll be doing cooking, and I'm just saying, you know, say Mandy. Say, if I say what's left? Andy. That's his mom's name. You know, and he just loves it, and it's really makes a difference. And I know we're getting to the end here. Okay, just more progress to now. He identifies virtually all the letters. I mean, all the basic letter sounds, and he's into vowel teams now. Like A, apple, A, AI, paint, A, and he knows if I say, where do you use AI, he'll know it's in the middle, AY is at the end. You know, it's all about doing this cognitively, meaning that you want him to get it because he can think it. It's not hard for him to understand at all that AI goes in the middle as in paint. It's not hard to understand that, and he remembers it, and so he's learning it that way. Read sentences, I've already talked about that, and using the 6 syllable patterns. There are only 6 in the whole world, and so it's of English, and follows directions based on his reading. And there we are to the But any questions or any thoughts?
I have a question.
Yeah.
My question is about carryover.
Yeah, that's what's so good.
When I know with this child, you just really started working with him. When do you see carryover? It seems to me he has it at the word level, but it's still kind of distorted in his conversation.
Well, yeah, it comes and goes. When the more excited he is, but it's going to fall away. I mean, he can certainly still be unintelligible, but he is using it a lot at home. I mean, he's using L's all the time, and if you just look at him funny, he can fix it. you know, or if you just say what, or give me
Either
either.
self-correct.
So he can self-correct, and he's using a lot of things on it. F's and B's are just there, and they're just there, and L's and L-M's are just there. So it really is strong for the transfer. It's really strong because it's already in phrases. I mean, it never was just in a single word. I never taught any of it in a single word. So I really find it to be really good. And it's just something that over the years, you know, I wish I had a lot more videotapes of other kids, because it's worked with many, many kids to the point that, like in Mobile, we were there for 20 years, and people, so often people would come with, and they would say, well, so many people told me that they had their child's unintelligible, and they say, well, if anybody can really fix it, Hetty can fix it. And it's because, it's not because it's me, it's because this is really works. And it really does get to transfer, but I'm sorry that I should have some data. But I just know that it really does transfer. I mean, and it transfers natural sounding instead of unnatural sounding. But I'm glad you asked. Yeah. So, but I just appreciate y'all being here. So, and I would love to do more, but if you ever want more.
Thank you so much.